public's out there throwing darts at a board sport. I don't throw darts at a board. I bet on sure things. Read Sun Tzu, The Art of War. Every battle is won before it's ever fought. Think about it. You're not as smart as I thought you were there, buddy boy. Ever wonder why the fund managers can't beat the S&P 500? It's because they're sheep. Sheep get slaughtered. I've been in this business since '89. Most of these Harvard MBA types, they don't add up to dog shit. Give me someone who's poor, smart, and hungry. And no feelings. You win a few, you lose a few, but you keep fighting. And if you want a friend, get a dog. It's trench warfare out there, pal. Hey, Georgie. You ever watch those nature documentaries on the cable? Ever seen the one about the lions? You got this lion. He's the king of the jungle. He's got this huge mane out to here. He's lying under this tree in the middle of Africa. He's big. He's hot. He doesn't want to move. But the little lions, they come up and start messing with him. Start nipping at his ears, at his tail. Doesn't do anything. Now, the lioness comes up. She starts messing with him. Starts causing trouble. Still nothing. Now, the other animals, they start noticing this. They start moving in. The jackals, the hyenas, they're barking at him. They're laughing at him. They're eating the food from his domain. And the whole time, they're getting closer and closer and bolder and bolder until one day the lion gets up and he tears the shit out of everybody. He runs like the wind, eats everything in his path. Because every once in a while, the lion has to show the jackals who he is. He stopped believing. That's it. That's why he failed. He quit. So much talent, so much potential, and he lost faith in himself. I guess he couldn't figure out what to do next in his career, and the stress built up and broke him. His music was great. I listened to it for hours. It'd get me in this pumped up emotional state. And his lyrics never got old. But no one gave him a chance. But I think in today's world, that doesn't matter. I don't think he gave himself a chance to take control of his career the way I know he could have. He just, he did it for so long. With no financial gain, no recognition of his genius. He couldn't do it anymore. That's why he hung himself in the studio. Couldn't do it anymore. It pains me. Because I believed in that guy more than he believed in himself. He forgot the number one lesson, which is to do what you love for the sake of the journey. There's nothing more rewarding than that. He lost sight of that. He forgot what it's all about. It's not about money. It's not about fame. It's not about compliments. It's about expressing oneself creatively. Because that's what the soul needs to do. And enjoying the process. He lost track of that enjoyment, and instead he got stuck on what everybody else gets stuck on. I wish somehow I would have known how far he fell off in his belief. He was a true friend. And a talented artist. And the world's been robbed of this contribution to humanity. It hurts. It's sad. It didn't have to end this way. All right. Let's put our cards on the table. I assure you, I am conscious of my situation. You want to know what it feels like? It feels like a man drowning, choking, sinking by the inch until only his eyes are above water. And you know what he sees? A bronze atrocity by... what's that fella's name? A collector's piece. As in a nightmare. That's the idea, isn't it? No. I suppose you're under orders not to answer questions. And I won't insist. But remember this, my man. I have a pretty good notion of what's coming to me. So don't you boast that you caught me off guard. Dealing with the situation. Dealing with it. So that's that. No toothbrush? No bed either. One never sleeps here, I take it? As I expected. Why sleep? Drowsiness steals upon you, tickles you behind the ears. Your eyes get heavy. But why sleep? You lie down on the couch and in a flash, sleep flies away. Miles and miles away. You rub your eyes, get up, it starts all over again.
You're wrong. I'm completely familiar with psychoanalysis. Similar hustlers tried to fob it off on me back at Payne Whitney. Yeah, that's right. I was at Payne Whitney. The Nat House. I was in the psych ward for 6 months. A vacation. I don't look back on it with great nostalgia. Hey, relax. You don't have to move back. I was violent. That's why they put you in a straitjacket. Don't be scared. Look, I broke up with this girl, and they sent me to a psychiatrist, and he goes, why were you so depressed? And do the things you did. I said, well, there was this girl I wanted, and she left. He said, we'll have to look into that. And I said, yeah, there's not really anything to look into. I wanted this girl, and she left me. She left me. It's nothing to look in. And he said, then why were you so intense? And I said, because I wanted the girl. And he said, we will have to give you some medication or something. I said, I don't want medication. I want the girl. He said, well, we will have to work on that. And at this point, I grabbed the fire extinguisher from the casement, and I struck him in the back of the neck. And before you knew it, there's a bunch of guys from Con Ed attaching power jumper cables to my head. And the rest, yeah.
I wake up every morning and I decide again if I want to live without you. And I repeat this several times a day. Whenever some minute detail of life annoys me, or when I take enough time to realize that my life without you has very little meaning. No passion, nor scent, nor taste, nor smell. There's no fluidity, no fluid to wet the barren earth that was my heart. There is dust on the roads that you and I so often travel together, and the barbed wire cuts 1,000 cuts as I walk this desolate desert that was my soul. My tongue seeks to satiate you. My body aches from losing its canvas. Like a prisoner in a cell, painting with lime, not caring if he splashes or spills, for there's nothing left to care about. Sentenced to life. We made things. Power. Warm places, memories. The undeniable love between two souls who were meant to meet. And now, like an abandoned farmhouse on a road that no one travels anymore, there's a faint memory. That's me. Waiting for you to finally say, I love you. I hate English. Don't get me wrong, it's fun and all that, and it inspires future generations and all that bullcrap, but in all honesty, I hate it. Which is why, when I decided to go back to college in the fall, all innocent-like and blah, 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 I was terrified to find out that my first semester was English. Who does that? Ancient, old guidance counselors who take pleasure in ruining people's lives. That's who. And to top it all off was my teacher, Mrs. Brown. Talk about the devil. The stories that I heard, one student was getting his paper proofread, and she thought he was having it written for him. And she failed him on the spot. Anyways, I needed to get a good grade in this class to get into law school. And so I had to resort to rock bottom. Seduction. And not the get in bed with me, but more the, hey, I've baked you a bunch of brownies style. So the first day of class comes, and I've baked her a dozen of her favorite cookies. I'd seen her in the coffee shop the week before, and she was ordering a bunch of peanut butter cookies. So I went home that night, and I baked a dozen of the best freaking peanut butter cookies that the world has ever seen. Little did I know she was allergic to peanuts. I mean, come on. Aren't there supposed to be posters or bracelets or something? How was I supposed to know she was allergic? I honestly did not know that she was going to have a reaction. And that's why, Your Honor, I am innocent. I did not intentionally try to kill Miss Brown. It was a series of bad decisions, and I regret ever having made those cookies. Especially since I wasted a whole bottle of rat poison on them. I've seen the horror. The horrors you've seen. But you have no right to call me a murderer. You have no right to call me a murderer. You have a right to kill me. You have a right to do that. But you have no right to judge me. Words cannot describe what is necessary to those who do not know what horror means. Horror. Horror has a face, and you must become its friend. Horror and mortal terror, they must be your friends, or they're an enemy to be feared. truly an enemy. I remember when I was back in Special Forces. Seems like 1,000 centuries ago. We went into a camp to inoculate the children. When we left the camp after inoculating for polio, this old man came running after us. He was crying. Couldn't see. We went back to the camp and they had come and hacked off every inoculated arm. They were in a pile. A pile of little arms. And I remember I cried. I wept like some grandmother. And I never wanted to forget. I wanted to remember it. And then it hit me. Like a diamond bullet. A diamond bullet through the center of my forehead. And I thought, my God, the genius of that. The genius. The will to do that. Perfect. Genuine. Complete. Crystalline. Pure. And I realized that they could stand that. These were not monsters. These were men. Trained cadre. These men who fought with their hearts, who had families, who had children, who were filled with love. That they had this strength, the strength to do that. If I had 10 divisions of those men, then our troubles here would soon be over. You have to have men who are both moral and at the same time are able to utilize their primordial instinct to kill without feeling, without passion, without judgment. Because it's judgment that defeats us. I worry. I worry that my son will not understand what I tried to do here. And if I were to be killed, Willard, I would want someone to go to my home and explain everything to him. Tell him everything that you've seen. Everything I did. Because there is nothing I detest more than the stench of flies. And if you understand me, Willard, you will do this for me. I've seen things you people wouldn't believe. Attack ships on fire off the shoulder of Orion. I've watched sea beams glitter in the darkness near Tannhauser Gate. All these moments will be lost in time, like tears in the rain. Time to die.
You're a first-year grad student. You just got done reading some Marxian history. Pete Garrison, probably. You're going to be convinced of that until next month when you get into some James Lemon. And then you're going to be talking about how the economies of Virginia and Pennsylvania were entrepreneurial and capitalistic way back in 1740. That's going to last until next year. And then you're going to get in here regurgitating some Gordon Wood, talking about how, pre-evolutionary utopia and the capital-forming effects of military mobilization. Wood drastically underestimates the impact of social distinctions predicated upon by wealth, especially inherited wealth. You got that from Work in the Essex, Vickers, page 98? Yeah, I read that too. Were you going to plagiarize the whole thing for us? Or do you have some thoughts of your own on the matter? Or is that your thing? You come into a bar, you read off some obscure passage, you pretend, you pass it off as your own to impress some girls and embarrass my friend here? Sad thing about guys like you is in 50 years, you're going to start doing some thinking on your own. And you're going to come up with two certainties. One, don't do that. And two, you spent $150,000 on a fucking education that you could have got probably for $1.50 in late charges from the public library. It wasn't him, Charlie. It was you. You remember that night in the garden when you came down to my dressing room and you said to me, "Kid, tonight just isn't your night. I'm going for the price on Wilson." You remember that? Not my night. My night. I could have taken Wilson apart. So what happens? He gets the title shot in the ballpark outdoors, and what do I get? A one-way ticket to Palookaville. It's my brother, Charlie. He should have looked out for me just a little bit. He should have taken care of me just a little bit, so I didn't have to take those dives for the short end money. You don't understand. I could have had class. Could have been a contender. I could have been somebody instead of a bum. That's what I am. Let's face it. It was you, Charlie.
I'm not the type of guy who spends hundreds on a last-minute flight back to New York and tears across town and runs up 6 flights of stairs to knock on my best friend's girlfriend's door and in order to run off and elope based on one crazy, thoughtless, inexplicably romantic night. So what am I doing here, Audrey? I'm not passionate. I'm a fact checker, for Christ's sake. And the fact of me being here, it doesn't check out. It's nuts. Soulmates, I don't believe in them. Never have. So how can I be yours? Fact is you hardly know me, and I hardly know you. Your boyfriend, on the other hand, I've known him since kindergarten. Am I really willing to throw away years of friendship based on what? A feeling? An intense, aching, gnawing, burning, and torturing feeling that it's telling me I must be with you, or I'll die a slow and horrible death as my heart slowly breaks into 1,000 pieces. No. I mean, this is the kind of thing that only happens in movies. And we're not in a movie. We're on McDougal Street, 2 blocks south of Bleecker. That is a indisputable geographical fact. A solid, rational, black and white fact. And all the facts are pointing to one thing. We can't do this. All the facts say I shouldn't be here. Because the fact is you're in a relationship. The fact is you met me yesterday. Because the fact is I'm not the type of guy who falls in love. That's a fact. A cold, hard fact. And facts are supposed to be true. But the problem is, see, the problem is, despite every fact I can muster, there's something that still doesn't check out. Because the truth is, despite all facts to the contrary, I still love you madly. And it defies all reason, all morality. But I do love you madly. And it's not like me. I don't want to. But I can't help it. I'm yours, Audrey. Completely, totally, hopelessly, and utterly yours.
Guy told me one time, don't get attached to anything that you can't walk away from in 30 seconds flat if you feel the heat around the corner. Now say you're on me, and I gotta move when I move. How you expect to keep a marriage? There's a flip side to that coin. What if you do got me boxed in? And I gotta put you down. Because no matter what, you will not get in my way. We've been face to face, yeah. But I will not hesitate. Not 1 second. Maybe we'll never see each other again. You think you know everything, don't you? You're 25 years old. You're a baby. You don't know shit. I can appreciate that. I was young too. I was just like you. I hated authority. I hated all my bosses. Thought they were full of shit. It's like they say, if you're not a rebel by the time you're 20, you got no heart. But if you're not establishment by 30, you got no brains. Because there are no storybook romances, no fairy tale endings. But before you go out and save the world, you need to ask yourself, what do you want? You were getting complacent, ungrateful, complete and total job burnout. I don't think I didn't notice. You just didn't give a shit anymore. Dragging your feet everywhere, telling everybody you were doing my job, that you were running the show, that without you, I was nothing. Yeah. People tell me things. So don't come in here preaching to me about what's fair. You're no martyr here. You're no hero. You're just a fucking hypocrite. You're just like any other young punk out there looking for a way in. Any way in. And you need me. Because I've earned it. You think someone just gave me this job? I've handled the phones. I've juggled the bimbos. I've dealt with the tyrants. The yellers, the screamers. I've done more than you can imagine in that small brain of yours. I pay my dues. Spend my 10. Damn it, it's my turn to be selfish. It's my turn. See, that's the trouble with you YouTube microwave dinner generation. You want everything now. You think because you want it, you deserve it? It doesn't work like that. You have to earn it. You have to take it to make it yours. But first, guy, you need to decide what it is that you want. What life? What life? I gave you life. Before me, you were nothing. Before me, you were an ink spot, and now you're playing in the big leagues. I made you. You will always be Guy from Buddy Ackerman's office. You want to go back to your shitty existence? Go ahead, leave. There's the door. No one's stopping you. You could have left any day, but you stayed. So let's forget the Dudley do-right crap here, because out there, it's kill your parents, fuck your friends, and have a nice day. Look, I don't make the rules. I play by them. What? Your job is unfair to you. Grow up. Way it goes. People use you. Life is unfair. Grow up. Way it goes. Your girlfriend doesn't love you. Tough shit. Way it goes. Your wife is raped and shot, and they leave their unfinished beer. They're stinking long necks just lying there on the ground? So be it. Way it goes. Alright, Guy. Come on. Let's finish this. Give it to me. Show me what you're made of. Show me what you've learned. Let me down, son. Everything I taught you comes down to this. This is the only way that you can survive. Because life's not a movie. Everyone lies. Heroes lose. And love does not conquer all.
So let's do this thing. Let's finish it. Come on. Do it now. Do you realize I work at home? Do you like being interrupted when you're dancing around in your little garden? Well, I work all the time. So never interrupt me, okay? Not if there's a fire, not even if you hear the sound of a thud from my home, and 1 week later there's a smell coming from there that can only be a decaying human body, and you have to hold a hanky to your face because the stench is so thick that you think you're gonna faint. Even then, don't come knocking. Or if it's election night and you're excited and you want to celebrate because some fudge packer that you date's been elected the first queer president of the United States and he's going to invite you to Camp David and you want someone to share the moment with, even then, don't knock. Not on this door. Not for any reason. Do you get me, sweetheart? So that you understand how serious I am, I'm going to say this in English. Now, as your leader, I encourage you from time to time, and always in a respectful manner, to question my logic. If you're unconvinced that a particular plan of action I've decided is the wisest, just tell me. But allow me to convince you. And I promise, no subject will be taboo. Except, of course, the subject matter that was just being discussed. The price you pay for bringing up either my Chinese or American heritage as a negative is I take your fucking head. Like this fucker here. Now, any of you sons of bitches got anything else to say? 'Cause now's the time. I didn't think so. Gentlemen, this meeting's adjourned.
I had 3 daughters. Gina was 5. Jenny was 7. She liked boys already. Julie was 9. She was older. They all looked alike Johnson. Like Doreen. Doreen was my life. It's my wife. DT, that was her nickname, Doreen Templeman. She had a dog, Spider the poodle. They used to wake me up all the time. Saturday mornings, singing Beatles songs in harmony. All 4 of them. So cute. Doreen never judged me, Never nagged me, not like a lot of wives do. She just wanted me to take my shoes off so I didn't wreck the carpet. That's it. Doreen and the girls were very female. I was always the oddball, Mr. Man. They adored me, Johnson. With the long brown hair. Except Gina. She kept her hair short, to be different from everybody. She had a birthmark. It looked like a burn, but it wasn't. She always said it was going to go away, but it didn't. Jenny. This one,
She wanted to be a gymnast. She was such a klutz, though. Didn't have the heart to mention it. There you go. They went to see Doreen's sister Ellen and her girls in Boston, and they took Spider because I had to work, and they were afraid I wouldn't feed her. Such no great. And then we were all gonna go to DT's little cousin's wedding out in Los Angeles, and I was gonna meet him out there. The kids, they wanted to go to Disneyland, but they had missed so much school already. We had to say no, you know. I'm going to meet him in Los Angeles, and on my way to JFK, I'm in the taxi cab, and I hear on the radio. And I get there, and some guy says plane's from Boston, and another guy says there's 2 planes. Then I go inside the airport. And I'm watching. I'm watching on the television. And I saw it. I saw it, and I felt it at the same time. I thought about Gina's birthmark. And I felt them burning. Can we go? I want to go home now.
You know, you want to be a part of it. Patriotic. Go out and get your licks in for the US of A. But when you get over there, it's a totally different situation. I mean, you grow up real quick because all you're seeing is a lot of death. And I know some of you guys are going to look at the uniformed man and you're going to remember all the films and you're going to think about the glory of other wars. Think about some vague patriotic feeling and go off and fight this turkey too. I'm telling you, it's not like the movies. That's all I want to tell you. Because I didn't have a choice. When I was your age, all I got was some guy standing up like that, man, giving me a lot of bullshit, man, which I caught. I was in really good shape, man. I was captain of the football team. And I wanted to be a war hero, man. I wanted to go out and kill for my country. And now I'm here to tell you that I have killed for my country or whatever. I don't feel good about it. Because, there's not enough reason, man, to feel someone die in your hands. To see your best buddy blown away. tell you, it's a lousy thing, man. I don't see any reason for it. And there's a lot of shit that I did over there that I find fucking hard to live with. And I want to see people like you, man, coming back, having to face the rest of your lives with that kind of shit. Simple as that. I don't feel sorry for myself. I'm a lot fucking smarter now than I was then. I'm just telling you, there's a choice to be made here. They got this guy in Germany, Fritz something or another. Maybe it's Werner. Anyways, he's got this theory. You want to test something, scientifically. Why the planets go around the sun, what sunspots are made out of, why water comes from the tap. Well, you got to look at it. And sometimes you look at it and the looking changes it. You can't know what really happened, or at least what would have happened if you hadn't stuck in your goddamn schnoz. There is no what happened. Looking at something changes it. They call it the uncertainty principle. I know it sounds screwy, but even Einstein said, this guy's onto something. Science, perception, reality, doubt, reasonable doubt. I'm just saying sometimes the more you look, the less you really know. It's a fact, true fact. In a way, the only fact there really is. This Heine even wrote it out in numbers. You an angry man, Henry? Are you envious? Get envious? I have a competition in me. I want no one else to succeed. I hate most people. There are times when I look at people and I see nothing worth liking. I just want to make enough money to get away from everybody. I see the worst in people, Henry. I don't need to look past seeing them to get all I need. I've built up my hatreds over the years, little by little. Having you here is like a second breath. I can't keep doing this on my own with these, people. My name is Lieutenant Aldo Rain, and I'm putting together a special team, and I need me 8 soldiers. 8 Jewish American soldiers. Now, y'all might have heard the rumors about the Armada happening soon. Well, we'll be leaving a little earlier. We're gonna be dropped into France dressed as civilians. And once we're in enemy territory, as a bushwhacking guerrilla army, we're gonna be doing one thing and one thing only. Killing Nazis. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I sure as hell did not come down from the goddamn Smoky Mountains, cross 5,000 miles of water, fight my way through half of Sicily, and jump out of a fucking aeroplane to teach the Nazis a lesson in humanity. Nazis ain't got no humanity. They're the foot soldiers of a Jew-hating mass-murdering maniac, and they need to be destroyed. And that's why any and every son of a bitch we find wearing a Nazi uniform, they're gonna die. Now, I'm the direct descendant of Jim Bridger. That means I got a little engine in me. And our battle plan will be that of Apache resistance. We will be cruel to the Germans, and through our cruelty they will know who we are. They will find evidence of our cruelty in the disemboweled, dismembered, and disfigured bodies of their brothers that we leave behind us.
And the German won't be able to help themselves but imagine the cruelty their brothers endured at our hands, at our boot heels, and at the edge of our knives. And the Germans will be sickened by us. And the Germans will talk about us. And the Germans will fear us. And when the German close their eyes at night, and they're tortured by their subconscious for the evil they have done, it will be thoughts of us that they are tortured with. Sound good? That's what I like to hear. But I got a word of warning for all you would-be warriors. When you join my command, you take on the debt. The debt you owe me personally. Each and every man under my command owes me 100 Nazi scalps. And I want my scalps. And all y'all will give me 100 Nazi scalps taken from the head of 100 Nazis. Or you will die trying. Teldar Paper, Mr. Cromwell. Teldar Paper has 33 different vice presidents, each earning over $200,000 a year. Now, I've spent the last 2 months analyzing what all these guys do, and I still can't figure it out. One thing I do know is that our paper company lost $110 million last year. And I'll bet half of that was spent in all the paperwork going back and forth between all these vice presidents. The new law of evolution in corporate America seems to be survival of the unfittest. Well, in my book, you either do it right or you get eliminated. In the last 7 deals I've been involved with, there were 2.5 million stockholders who have made a pre-tax profit of $12 billion. Thank you. I am not a destroyer of companies. I am a liberator of them. The point is, ladies and gentlemen, that greed, for lack of a better word, is good. Greed is right. Greed works. Greed clarifies, cuts through, and captures the essence of the evolutionary spirit. Greed, in all its forms. Greed for life, for money, for love, knowledge, has all marked the upward surge of mankind. And greed, you mark my words, will not only save Teldar Paper, but that other malfunctioning corporation called the USA. Thank you very much. I think you've gotten the wrong impression about me. I think it's only fair to explain to you what it is that I do. For instance, tomorrow morning, I'm gonna get up nice and early, and I'm gonna walk down to the bank, and I'm gonna walk in and see. And if you don't have my money for me, I'm gonna crack your fucking head wide open in front of everybody in the bank. And just about the time I get out of jail, you should be getting out of your coma, and I'll split your fucking head open again. Because I'm fucking stupid. I don't give a fuck about jail. It's my business. It's what I do. And we know what you do, don't we, Charlie? You fuck people out of money. And you get away with it.
You're so ambitious, aren't you? You know what you look like to me, with your good bag and your cheap shoes. You look like a rube. A well-scrubbed, hustling rube. With a little class. Good nutrition's given you some length of bone, but you're not more than 1 generation away from white trash, are you, Agent Sterling? And that accent you've tried so desperately to shed. Pure West Virginia. What does your daddy do? Is he a coal miner? Does he stink of the lamp? You know how quickly the boys found you. How those tedious, sticky fumblings in the back backseat of cars, while you could only dream of getting out, getting anywhere, getting all the way to the FBI.
I've known Bob Rumson for years, and I've been operating under the assumption that the reason Bob devotes so much of his time and energy to shouting at the rain was that he simply didn't get it. Well, I was wrong. Bob's problem isn't that he doesn't get it. Bob's problem is that he can't sell it. We have serious problems to solve, and we need serious people to solve them. And whatever your particular problem is, I promise you, Bob Rumson is not in the least bit interested in solving it. He is interested in two things, and two things only: making you afraid of it and telling you who's to blame for it. That, ladies and gentlemen, is how you win elections. You gather a group of middle-aged, middle-class, middle-income voters who remember with longing an easier time, and you talk to them about family and American values and character. And you wave an old photo of the president's girlfriend and you scream about patriotism. You tell them she's to blame for their lot in life. And you go on television and you call her a whore. Sydney Ellen Wayne has done nothing to you, Bob. She has done nothing but put herself through school, represent the interest of public school teachers, and lobby for the safety of our natural resources. You want a character debate, Bob? You better stick with me, because Sydney Ellen Wade is way out of your league. I've loved two women in my life. I lost one to cancer, and I lost the other because I was so busy keeping my job, I forgot to do my job. Well, that ends now. Tomorrow morning, the White House is sending a bill to Congress for its consideration. It's White House Resolution 455, an energy bill requiring a 20% reduction of the emission of fossil fuels over the next 10 years. It is by far the most aggressive stride ever taken to reverse the effects of global warming. The other piece of legislation is a crime bill. As of today, it no longer exists. I'm throwing it out. And if you want to talk about character, Bob, you better come at me with more than a burning flag and a membership card. If you want to talk about character and American values, fine. Just tell me where and when, and I'll show up. This is a time for serious people, Bob, and your 15 minutes are up. My name is Andrew Shepard, and I am the president. This town will never be the same. After the Tangiers corporations took over, looks like Disneyland now. When the kiddos off playing paper pirates, mommy and daddy are dropping house payments, and Junior's college fund playing video poker. It used to be the dealers knew your name, knew what you drank, knew your game. Today it's like checking in an airport. And if you order room service, you're lucky if you get it by Thursday. Today it's all gone. You get a whale checking in with $4 million in a suitcase, and you got some 25-year-old hotel clerk asking for a social security number. After the Teamsters got knocked out of the box, they practically tore down all the old casinos. Where'd the money come from to rebuild the pyramids? Junk bonds. But in the end, I ended up back where I started. I could still pick a winner. I could make plenty of money for all kinds of people back home, so... And why give up a good thing? And that's that. I'm sorry, babe. But there's some things I have to say. Only got a few moments left.
I'm sorry for all the things I'll never give you. I'll never buy you another meatball sub with extra sauce. That was a big one. I'll never make you smile. I just wanted us to be old together. Two old farts laughing at each other as our bodies fell apart. Together. At the end. By that lake in your painting. That was our heaven, see? There's lots of things to miss. Books, naps, kisses, fights. God, we had some great ones. Thank you for those. Thank you for every kindness. Thank you for our children. For the first time I saw them. Thank you for being someone I was always proud to be with. For your guts. For your sweetness. For how you always looked. For how I always wanted to touch you. You were my life. I apologize for every time I failed you. Especially this one.